Dan Ditz, thank you for coming and letting the New Agora newspaper interview you, and welcome to Vancouver. And we especially brought the rain out for you.
Thank you.
Yes, our reputation precedes us.
Very nice. I get to use my hoodie. That's good.
Very good. Dan, what was the impetus behind creating Press for Truth, and what drives you to continue?
I think it was after a number of years of just doing research into a number of other topics, reading books, watching documentary films. You can only do that for so many, years until you get to a point where you realize I got to take this to some other kind of level. So my kind of moment of awakening, as we call it, was around 1998-99. When I heard about the topic of chemtrails, and that's at first I didn't believe it. I was very skeptical, and then I started actually looking into it a little bit more, and found that there was something there, and that opened up my mind to the possibility that the government's not necessarily telling the truth about a lot of things, and down the rabbit hole I went from there, as we call it. So pretty much did that for a few years up until around 2001 after 9/11, and that's when I decided to start getting out in the streets, getting active, meeting some of the local activist groups, and pretty much did that from 2002 up until about 2006. And then that's when first time I went to a Bilderberg conference in Ottawa, and that's when first time I ever brought a camera to anything, and I think that was the moment when I realized this is where it's at, and I need to bring a camera to these types of things. And it was around that time that I decided, why not start doing this all the time, and I started Press for Truth, started documenting everything from there on in, basically. So yeah, that was it. I mean, a number of years of research kind of brought me to the point of starting Press for Truth, and just going to these things more as to document them as opposed to a protester. So I started going as a documentarian and just trying to collect footage of all kinds of events. So that's kind of how it came about. And then since 2006, it's just been a wild roller coaster ride. Everything's just kind of fallen together for me. So.
Going to your manifestation, you did a movie, a great film, Into the Fire, and have you followed up in any lawsuits or charges that stem from the characters featured in the movie?
There are a number of lawsuits that are still going on. There are a few that have already been settled. I think there was 2 or 3 people in Toronto who have settled their lawsuits. I don't know the specifics about what how it came about or what they got from it.
But that's it's being taken care of.
It has been. A number of police officers have been disciplined, I guess you could say. But it's a tricky one there. We have something called the OIPRD, who's supposed to investigate the things that were going on there, but they're filled with police members, and the police are not legally obliged to testify to this thing. So there could be a lot more being done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And fast forward to today, what projects are you working on now?
Got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I have started Pressfortruth.ca a little over a year ago. So we do daily videos. I do every day from Monday to Friday, and then on top of that, we do a lot of video reports for YouTube that we put out as often as we can. And in the midst of all that, I'm working on my 6th film now. Just started the film. That's one of the reasons for coming across Canada, meet some people, do some interviews. And the new documentary is all about organic farming and food and the dangers of GMO and some of the issues that some farmers are having with Monsanto. So that's the focus right now. That's what we're working on now. Just in the beginning stages, probably won't be ready until 2014 maybe, I'm thinking. We're going to track the whole crop cycle of farmers and let them tell the story, basically, about how they're being screwed over by Monsanto, basically. Yeah, that's what we got in the works right now.
What do you think, apart from the aforementioned, what do you think is the most important issue not getting enough mainstream media coverage?
That's a great question. So many issues, but I think one that is fundamental to having any change happen is monetary reform. And I don't think enough people realize about how the banking system works and about how fractional reserve lending works, and about the reasons why we're in so much debt, and it's basically the root of everything, really. If you want to get at this, you hack at the root, which is money. So I think that's something that more people in Canada need to be aware of. The fact that we need monetary reform. We can't be borrowing from private banks and paying interest on currency that's created out of thin air. So I'd say that's a pressing issue that people need to be aware of.
Sounds like a next possible topic for a movie, unless you've already otherwise covered it.
Absolutely, we've covered it a number of times in YouTube videos, which can almost be considered short films. Short little 10-15 minute films. But yeah, absolutely, I want to focus on that more, for sure.
Great. As you've been doing a great road trip traveling across Canada and meeting all sorts of people, do you see the future of independent media and activism growing the last few years? You've been in this game for 15 years now, going back to 1998. Do you see things changing even in the last short while, as some of us have observed? And what do you think? I mean, obviously your Press for Truth is one, but how can we create a more national network, so to speak, of Press for Truth?
Right. Well, I think we're starting to see that happen. I've personally seen it in my own experience. First time, as I said, covering Bilderberg in 2006. Back then, it was just myself. Alex Jones was there, Daniel Estelon was there, and there was maybe 10 protesters. Whereas last year in Chantilly, Virginia, covering Bilderberg, there had to be at least 1,000 people at the height of it.
Sure.
So that was a sign to me that things are really, really changing and starting to pick up. And the beautiful thing is nowadays, anybody can get a WordPress blog or a website or a YouTube channel. Most people already have a camera in their pocket with their cell phones. So I think because of the technologies that are developing and some of the social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and some of the technologies that we have available to us now, it's becoming more accessible and easier for anybody to become a citizen journalist and to get involved. And we're at a point now where a lot of people, I think, sense that something is just not right, and that the mainstream media is not telling the truth, and they're looking for alternative sources for information online, and they're finding it, and they're starting to want to get involved. So it's exponentially growing. So
the adage of stop taking authority as the truth and start taking truth as the authority is really starting to take form. Brilliant. You do many interviews. Do you have a bucket list of people, maybe a few of them, that you have yet to interview, but would like to, and maybe?
Not really. But
no?
if I had just to think about it right now, I've always interviewed people that I'm look up to and stuff like that. But for our film United We Fall, which covers the North American Union, we interviewed members of the Bilderberg Group, members of the Trilateral Commission and the Council on Foreign Relations, and these types of guys. I would love to get the opportunity to speak with some of these globalists more often. I've spoken with prime ministers and Paul Martin and John Chrétien and stuff like that. So why not shoot big? If I could talk to a Rockefeller or a Rothschild, that would be very, very interesting for me.
Absolutely. With the Harper government more and more in lockstep with the U.S. government's position in world affairs, do you see the possibility of a false flag on Canadian soil And do you think that would galvanize Canadians to awaken or make us more subservient to the powers that be?
You know, I certainly think in the eyes of the puppet string pullers and the global elite that we Canadians have been chilling out up here for far too long. You know, America had their 9/11, you know, and Europe had their 7/7, and but Canada hasn't seen anything like that. And certainly this is how they gain their control and manipulate people into playing along with the system. So it's not really a question of if something is going to happen, it's more of a question of when. And like you said, we're being more and more tied in with the United States, and we're being conditioned now to think about terrorists the first time something happens. In Toronto, there's a famous case of the Toronto 18. Now, this is a young group of guys who were actually set up by a CSIS informant, and were kind of coerced into being involved in this. And it turns out they were all innocent. But at the time that this was going on, the front page of every paper said, "Terrorism has arrived. Terrorism is here. Basically, be afraid." So I've gotten the sense over the years that we're being conditioned for something to come. Now, a false flag can come in many forms. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, some sort of Al-Qaeda-led type bombing or something. It could be an economic crash. It could be a health crisis. It could be a number of things. But certainly that would whip the Canadians in line.
As you're in Vancouver, have you seen any of the Vancouver 9/11 truth bannering or any of the culture jamming that's emulated from Vancouver? What's your opinion of what's going on in Vancouver as someone from Toronto?
I have seen stuff online. I've only been in town for a day, but been very impressed with the amount of activism going on out here. That's, I mean, the main reason why we wanted to come here and meet a lot of you guys, because I'm seeing some great stuff online over the years, and obviously We Are Change is a great group, and I know there's a number of We Are Change chapters here in Vancouver, so that's awesome. I'm impressed.
Very good. And finally, what's in store for Press for Truth, and what do you hope it will become?
Well, right now we're starting to look to finding Press for Truth correspondents all across Canada and possibly all over the world. People who, you know, can contribute to the type of work that we do. So I would like to see, you know, once I officially launch this thing in about 10 days from now, I'm putting a new section to the website called Press for Truth Global, where I built this platform over the years into something rather big, and I want to now make it available to others to be able to use it to share their information, let the world know about their groups, basically use this opportunity to allow others to present information across the PFT platform. So that's the direction that we're looking to take things now. Basically open up the door for other activists out there to get involved with Press for Truth, and it's amongst, you know, we're continuing with the films, we're continuing, I do my daily videos and continuing with the reports, but in order to take it to that next level, I would like to open up the floor to get other people involved all across the country and all across the world.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks again for taking the time, and the website's Pressfortruth.ca if anyone wants to go to it, and I'm sure people will. Thanks, Dan.
Awesome.
Enjoy your stay on the West Coast.
Thank you very much.